Alright, so this is the book that I'm going to use to learn Russian grammar. It is really, really old, 1962, well, in the Soviet heyday. Anyway, just because it's old doesn't mean it's not good. Now, some of the bits like here, how to learn pronunciation, this is a bit outdated only because I can get on the internet and actually hear the sounds. I don't have to go and find a Russian somewhere. Of course, in 1962 America, kind of hard to come by. I don't even know where I got this book. But near the beginning, you need to kind of front load a lot of your effort. It's going to be pretty intensive. You need to get the grammar done. But while I do this, I'm also going to be listening, using the internet, of course, to Russian. And this is for just to make it more familiar. And as I learn the grammar and the spelling and all that, I can start connecting the two subconsciously and consciously. I want to do this just through sheer exposure to the language. What my challenge is for myself is not necessarily the book, but my method, the way I'm going to do this. Normally, say with French, German, Portuguese, it's kind of a few-month build-up with the grammar. And of course, I'm listening to it, and I'm able to kind of meet in the middle kind of quickly. And the more I do this, the more efficient and faster I get at it. Russian was the first language that was not similar to English that I tried a couple years ago, and it took me 3 weeks just to memorize the alphabet. I kind of put it to the side for a while, and I started to study Farsi. And it is a very, very hard language, and after almost 2 years, I have made a lot of progress, but still not fluent or anything. But I tried Russian again, and it was actually much, much easier to learn it than before I studied Farsi. Now, as you can tell, I've cheated a little bit. I already have done about, 5 chapters of this, but it's been a little while, so I need to return to it. But this is going to kind of be the ongoing thing with me right now, is to learn Russian. Alright, and here is some of that I've already written. So as you can see, I've just written all of the rules, copied right out of the book. Right? At this point, you need to write down everything. Don't ever assume that it's too remedial or there's no point. If I didn't write down these rules, it would be more difficult for me to remember what they are. By writing them down, I've basically taken the action of writing, reading to myself, reading out loud, and then reading back over it, and putting that into my memory. Writing is great for your long-term memory, so as you can see, I'm writing down all of the vocabulary that they give me. And I'm going to be writing these down many, many times in the future. Yes, it's a bit tedious in the beginning to write down all the rules. It goes on and on and on. Write down everything. Let's see what I made it to. I think I made it to... You can see where I screw up. And every now and then I'll put, I'll write. Whatever I have, I'll write in. So this here is basically that familiarity training I told you about. This is an article from BBC. And I will just write and write and write. Some Portuguese. Now, of course, this is in the block letters. When people are actually writing things by hand, they tend to put it, you know, in the cursive or not this. But this is for me to learn the spelling. And then, as I said, when you've done this enough and you're reviewing this, writing everything down, you'll already start to see really common words, and you'll probably remember what they are because you're writing them. This is a real simple thing, but a lot of times people don't want to write anything down. No. Right? Now, when you're doing this, it doesn't always have to be really, really active study. Sometimes I'll listen to a video that is not in Russian or anything I'm studying particularly, but I'll do this just so I'll become more familiar with it. That's the whole point. Now I'm getting over here in the Farsi. Anyway, that's my first video, just kind of showing you where I am with this thing. And in videos to come, I will be kind of kicking this up a bit and also giving you my thoughts as I'm studying. If you notice anything, I mean, like I said, I do not know Russian, so I'm going to make a fool of myself plenty, I'm sure. But I'm going to show you how the sausage is made, at least with me.